ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged review, and sorry I'm about a week behind here with The Walking Dead, but as you can see, there's a reason for that. I got my hands on After Effects, I got a trial, and I had to cram a bunch of stuff into like 2 weeks. So now I'm back to the reviews, starting off with The Walking Dead, episode 4, season 10, Silence the Whisperers. My biggest problem with The Walking Dead in the last few seasons is how slow the pacing has been. And that is definitely the case here with season 10. Season 9, I thought it was a big problem. Season 10, I'm almost wondering if it's a bigger problem. The first 2 episodes were just straight up boring. Episode 3 was alright. Episode 4, I don't know, man. I just don't know. There's some cool stuff happening, but not enough to be like, damn, I really got to see what's happening next week. It's just not drawing me in like that. So, the intro for this episode is showing a lot of the main characters. You get Daryl and Michonne, they're at dinner, and you see some interaction between them. Carol bandaging her arm up, and you got Ezekiel, who just seems really troubled. And he hears a crash, and there's a tree that is kind of fallen through a barricade there at Hilltop. And so that's kind of where they open up. That's where the credits pop, and you move into the episode. You instantly see people harassing Lydia, making fun of the fact that she's technically a whisperer. You have a Michonne and Judith convo. They're on a road with a bunch of people. And Michonne is kind of giving this speech about how to deal with bullies. Some you can, just avoid. Some bullies you have to face head on. And they're kind of talking about the whisperers. So there was a point where in their travels, Michonne sees Ezekiel. He's by himself on a horse. And so she breaks off from the pack to go talk to him. And she meets up with him. She can see he's really, really in distress. He's just really troubled. Not having a good go of it with everything that he's lost. And so she's there to kind of comfort him and console him. And it was kind of interesting because there was a moment where they hugged and Ezekiel kisses her. And, he knew instantly that it wasn't the right thing to do, and he apologized, and they just kind of blew it off as like a moment that maybe shouldn't have happened. And then I don't know, man, it was really, really weird. I don't know why they threw that in there, to be honest, because with all the other stuff they could be doing as far as story and building up what's actually happening, I feel like they're spending too much time on just throwing in this random shit that really, at the end of the day, amounts to nothing. And that's part of the problem. Like, I like the idea of seeing Ezekiel troubled. And I like the interaction with them, kind of consoling each other. But I felt like some parts of it were just unnecessary, if that makes sense. So after that, you have this part where Lydia is talking to Negan, and she's kind of talking about how she's getting messed with, and Negan is trying to console her a little bit, and then Daryl pops up and basically tells Lydia that she needs to stay away from Negan. She doesn't understand the kind of person he really is. After that, you get Michonne and Ezekiel, and now they're just kind of sitting at this pier overlooking the water, and they're just talking to each other. And Michonne's basically saying, I know what it's like to lose everything. I know what it's like to, have this foundation, this person that you can go to and talk to about anything. And then, he just disappears, and now everything is on your shoulders. And of course, she's talking about Rick, and Ezekiel feels like he's pretty much lost Carol at this point. So that was a pretty cool moment. I really did like that conversation there. Then you get Lydia. She stands up to these people that are bullying her, but the wrong way. She brings, some kind of animal, and just starts cutting it up at their lunch table, and of course they're all grossed out, and then she does the whisper thing, the shh, and so that just kind of pisses him off. And then Daryl, they fast forward a minute, and Daryl's talking to her, and he's like, "That was just a dumb thing to do." He's like, I understand you want to stand up to him, but that's not the way to do it. So these people attack Lydia, and they're basically trying to kill her at this point. Negan comes in, saves Lydia, accidentally kills one of the people. There was a woman there that was attacking her, and he just throws her, and she went head first into a wall. And so Negan saves Lydia, kills this Margot character, and you can see it in his face. He's like, oh shit, because he knows what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of backlash on him again. So you have the Alexandrians, they have a meeting about Negan, about what they're going to do with him, what they should do with him. And now that they've got this voting system, it's basically a split vote, and Gabriel is the deciding factor. So he decides he's going to wait, sleep on it, and make his decision later. And kind of at the same time this is going on, you see Sadiq, he's kind of losing his shit. He's got PTSD. He's, been really traumatized over what happened with the Whisperers. So he's not having a good go of it. And then you get Daryl and Lydia. Lydia tells Daryl that Negan saved her, that he was doing the right thing. Daryl is kind of conflicted because of what he knows about Negan. So he goes and he talks to Negan directly while Negan's in the jail cell. And Negan says, the reality of it. He's like, you used to know me, but now you're having doubts, and you wanted to come talk to me personally and see for yourself. And so I thought that was a really interesting moment in the show. And Daryl said, we've never been in a room without anybody between us. So that was interesting. It was a cool moment where there was a little bit of tension, but a little bit of intrigue too. So after that, you got the walkers break through at Hilltop where that tree fell. And so now you've got a bunch of people fighting the walkers and trying to keep everything copacetic there. Alexandria has the meeting on Negan, and no decision yet. Gabriel goes to see Negan, but sees Negan is gone. Somebody let him out of the cell. Lydia says that she's the one that let him out, and then she put herself in the cell that Negan was in. Daryl goes to talk to her, and she says, I feel safer in here. So, clearly she is not comfortable at all here now. And then they kind of go to the ending, and this is what I thought was the weird part, was they ended the show like they began, just kind of random shots of the main characters, and I felt like that was just a really weird, awkward place to end this episode. You have a couple of areas in town where people have written Silence the Whisperers, and that's kind of like the big thing with this episode. And I just feel like it's such a slow burn. Like they were previewing this season as the war against the Whisperers, but nothing's happened. Nothing. When you started the war against the Saviors, that was a fucking war. Like, people were going off on each other. That was intense. That was a lot of stuff going on. Stuff to keep you intrigued. This is nothing. This is people looking at each other and a bunch of hand-painted signs. It just doesn't go anywhere for me. And that's a problem. Like, that's a big problem. There's really no intrigue to this right now. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. I feel like The Walking Dead has lost its edge completely at this point. I mean, being a horror series, it isn't even really living up to that too much. You have some stuff with the zombies and stuff, but like nothing has been impressive. Nothing has been impressive with this season so far. I'm just really disappointed, to be honest. So, I mean, this show had some cool moments, but I think overall you're losing focus. You're kind of running off in different directions when you should be focused on what's happening with the Whisperers and Negan. And well, they did have some stuff with Negan, but I mean, I just don't see where this is going to be a very good season. And unfortunately, last season I said that, and I was really disappointed with the whole season, honestly. I really was. I felt like there was so much about it that I did not like. And I really feel like this is kind of going the same direction, if I'm being honest. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Because they need to get back to something interesting. They have way too much stall in this season so far. And the last couple of seasons, that's the way it's been. So, really disappointed. So that's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowitz, Kaged Nation, out.